What's up, everyone? How's everyone doing? It's your boy Giojackson, and we're back. I know I've been gone. What's been like 2 weeks? Just a lot of things going on. Obviously, one was a holiday. Last Monday, I was at the Niner game, and I went to the Giants game. So it's busy, but now we're back. We're back going forward. Now the show's going to be moved on Tuesdays. Since Mondays, we have Monday Night Football. Tuesdays, we'll recap everything that happened throughout the sports week. So, this week there was a lot of things that went on, right? We had NFL, we had, obviously soccer. We're back in full effect. Today we had Champions League, we had Noche UFC, and we had Canelo. And there's just been many, many, many stories going on this past week in the sporting world. We'll recap it all today for you. But as always, how's everyone doing? Happy Tuesday. Hopefully everyone's week started off great. Hopefully, you keep grinding, motivated, whatever you got going on. You know, I'm sure you will get through it like we always do together as a team. But how's everyone doing today? How's everything doing tonight? The weather's great for me now. We're back to cold weather, my favorite weather. I love it. Um, but let's jump right into it. Let's jump right into it. And we're going to start, with what everyone loves when the Niners lose. So, Niners lose to the Vikings this past weekend. My thoughts of the game. Well, tough game. Tough. It was a tough Sunday morning. Obviously, what can we say, right? The Niners, on paper, right? We're going up against Sam Darnold. The Vikings, they do have great players. They have Justin Jefferson, and we saw what he did. But on paper, right, the Niners are an Avengers all-star team. You would think, right, that they will handle business, but they didn't. And man, let's talk about Sam Darnold. So Sam Darnold, he was with us last year. Now he's with the Vikings. He's 2-0. And man, can we say on Sunday, on Sunday, that Sam Darnold looked better than Brock Purdy? Sam Darnold had a bomb to and I would ask you guys this. Obviously, the Niners defense messed up on that play, but could you see, and I'm not saying Sam Darnold is better than Brock Purdy, but could you see Brock Purdy making that deep pass that Sam Darnold did on that Justin Jefferson touchdown? Do you think Purdy has the arm strength to get it that far? But anyway, Sam Darnold, he had an amazing game. He was efficient. He did through, was it two picks, a pick to, probably the only player that le está echando ganas, Fred Warner. He had a fumble, interception. He's right now playing like the defensive player of the year, I would say, no bias. But man, Purdy, had a rough game. Not the best of games, but I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback. I think he's, you know, a good quarterback. Definitely. He had some plays, but a couple of those sacks were on him. He held the ball too long. Yes, our receivers, they aren't creating separation, but there was some plays where there was receivers wide open, there was easy passes open, and the good and bad thing about Purdy is he's always trying to make the best play, trying to make the trying to make a big play all the time, but sometimes you got to just dump it off, right? And I feel like Jordan Mason was there, in the flats, as a check down option, and he could have gotten maybe 5-7 yards here or there just to keep the drives going. But that being said, right, I think it just falls on coaching. It falls on Kyle Shanahan, and I feel like when you bring up like Kyle Shanahan, right, to fans, to some of the reporters that cover the Niners, they kind of get upset if you start blaming Kyle Shanahan because they go to, well, what do you want? Do you want to fire Kyle Shanahan? I don't want to fire Kyle Shanahan. I think he's one of the best offensive minds in the NFL, right? But like, what more can you give him? He has probably the best roster in the NFL. He has weapons galore, right? Yes, we lost Christian McCaffrey, but Mason's not Christian McCaffrey, but he is an amazing running back that in any other team would be doing amazing things. He looks like beast mode out there. We have Ayuk, who we just paid. You paid all this money because you think Ayuk is one of the top receivers in the game, and I think he's one of the top. He's just a little rusty right now, but you paid him all that money. You have one of the best tight ends in the game, George Kittle. You have Debo Samuel, one of the best weapons in the NFL. You have Trent Williams, who you paid, who is one of the best left tackles in the game. And you got decent other O linemen. Obviously, our O line is not the best, but there's decent players. Aaron Banks, the rookie Pooney, McGiveth, he'll give you a sack. Nothing you can do there. Juwan Jennings, I think he's been the best receiver, him and Debo right now. He has weapons galore. He has, a quarterback that's one of the best quarterbacks he's had ever since maybe when he had Matt Ryan. And he's just been the common denominator. Like last season, the Vikings, they beat us as well. They weren't able to stop the blitz. Our receivers weren't able to get open in man coverage. And that falls on coaching. You're the genius. You figure it out. If they're blitzing us a lot, if they're playing us man coverage, maybe do some man beater routes or something, crossing routes. And obviously, I don't know the X's and O's of football as a coach as Shanahan would, but sometimes you're watching these games. I know Niners fans, you're watching these games, and it's like, why did we stop running the ball? Like what's going on? Like, and I don't know. I just feel like Kyle Shanahan continues. I feel like he just doesn't learn from his mistakes, or I don't know. He thinks he knows everything. I don't know. I'm assuming these because it's just constant, just like moments of I don't know. Like when we're down, when we're coming from behind, it's always tough for the Niners to win those games. Obviously, the NFC Championship was one game that we did come back, but everything has to fall perfect for Kyle Shanahan to show his genius. And I feel like it's time, to put the pressure on him because it's been 5 years of 2 Super Bowls, 3 NFC Championship losses, 3, right? Rams, Eagles. Am I missing one? No, 2 NFC Championship losses. Am I missing one? No. And 2 Super Bowl appearances. And he continues to lose the big games. He continues, I don't know, like other NFL fan, Raiders fans, whatever, other teams, right? If you had the Niners team, wouldn't you say that they are one of the best teams in NFL? Like, what more? What does this team need? Well, obviously, the teams in NFL they can't have an all-star in every position, right? Because of the cap space. But if you compare this roster, the offensive weapons that they have compared to, I don't know, like the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs, they have Pacheco, who's injured now. You could say he's all right, but is he McCaffrey? No. They have Kelsey, compares to Kittle. But lately, he's looked kind of slow. They do have Rashid Rice, but we do have Ayuk. Now they got Worthy, but we have Debo, Juwan Jennings. I don't know, man. Like other teams can make it work with less. The Vikings made it work with less on that last drive to seal the game, to score the game-winning field goal. Justin Jefferson wasn't there. Addison didn't play this game. And they cooked us. Sam Darnold cooked us, cooked the top defense too. And so my hat's off to the Vikings. They are 2-0 and they're looking good, solid. Darnold, man, am I saying that's Darnold's looking solid? But man, it is what it is. And the questions that was asked for me was, are the Niners missing an identity on offense? I just feel like Kyle, he gets too cute. Just go with what works. I mean, Jordan Mason is running that ball like 5 yards. Sometimes he gets 10 yards a clip. Like, I don't see him losing yards. Like, he's a strong, big, pause. He runs that ball ferocious. He looks like beast mode out there. It's like And the Vikings weren't stopping it. So why stop running the ball? Continue running the ball. That's going to open up the passing game more, with the play actions under center. We have, like I said, Brandon Ayuk, who's the receiver that's probably going to beat. That's our best route running receiver, our best receiver on the team. We're going to be out. We're not going to have Debo in the next couple of weeks, but we still have Kittle. We still have Juwan Jennings, who, like I said, he's been balling. Like, this team shouldn't be struggling like this. I mean, but I was asked another question later, and it's also the beginning of the season. We have a good bounce back game against the Rams. The Rams are also an IR right now, ER. They're out Cooper Cup. They're out Puka Nakua, a couple of their cornerbacks, their offensive line. So if the Niners lose against the Rams this weekend, then I think, we got to start asking more deeper questions. This is a good bounce back game. The next two games are good bounce back games. Sorry, George, but against the Patriots, we should win that game as well. Even though I feel like the Patriots, my predictions for them in the season, what they were going to lose mostly all their games, but hey, and they won. They beat the Bengals, and they went to overtime against Seattle, who's 2-0. But those two games should be winnable games. But even if we win those games, they don't prove anything. The test is going to be the Chiefs, which is, I believe, week 6 or 5 when they come here. That's going to be the big test, mentally as well. They've continued to beat us. They beat us in 2 Super Bowls. And if we can't beat them in regular season, then, if we do ever play them in the Super Bowl again, that's going to be in the back of their head. Like, well, we can't beat this team. So that's a crucial win. But that will be the big test for the Niners. Like I said, so Niners fans, don't pump your chest up when we beat the Rams and Patriots. To me, that won't mean nothing because we have to, like, those are given wins. Nothing's given, right? But I feel like those wins should be given. But man, what else on the Niners? Obviously, Debo, he's injured. Calf strain. Ugh, it looks kind of, what does that mean? We beating y'all if we start May. You'll win if it's Brissett. Well, think about this, George. You guys have to fly cross country from Massachusetts here. Rookie quarterback, right? Going against one of the top defense in the NFL. It'll be a tough game. But on paper, George, I'm saying the Niners should win these 2 games. I said that I thought about that last week against the Vikings. Weird things can happen, right? But the Niners should win these next 2 games. But what I'm trying to say is, Niner fans and people, if let's say they win, they beat the Rams, and with the Patriots, they win, but it's close, maybe a field goal. Don't pump your chest up. Don't say we're back, because we're not. And that's the thing, Niners fans. Like, some Niners fans are happy that we're always there in the mix, that we're always fighting, NFC Championship playoffs, but that's not what this team's all about. Like, this team is supposed to win Super Bowls at this point. Kyle's been here almost 10 years, longer than Jim Harbaugh, longer than Seifert, who won 2 Super Bowls. I think he's almost as long as Bill Walsh, and Bill Walsh won 3 Super Bowls. So, like, what? I don't know. I mean, are we just going to be happy being the Yamerito team, the second best, they're the best team on paper, but they just don't win the big one? So, like, I think we need to put some pressure. I'm not saying fire Kyle Shanahan. I'm not saying Purdy's not it. I'm just saying let's put pressure on this team, because us as fans, we deserve better. And I'm just tired of not winning the big one. I want to feel it. Pause. But Alberto, and this is a lot of people I know, I've seen throughout Twitter what's going on with the youth, but Alberto says Ayuk ain't worth that bag. Honestly, I think Ayuk is just rusty. He didn't have training camp. It's different, right? It's different, you working out and stuff, and it's different being in shape, but in football shape. Um, but on Twitter, I saw that there was a couple plays that Brock Purdy missed them. There was a pass in the end zone where if Brock Purdy threw it a little early, Ayuk gets a touchdown. Maybe we'll be talking a different, tune on Ayuk. But I will agree. I don't think he seems as confident as last season. Last season he'll get a first down, he'll do this, he'll do his little shoulder thing. I think it's just rust. I think now, he does have to step up because Debo's out. So it's everything's gonna be on Ayuk. But like I said, Niners fans, we're really saying that, oh, let's say we lose, right? Are we gonna say it's because we didn't have CMC and Debo? We still have Ayuk, we have Kittle, Mason, Juwan Jennings. Like other teams don't have all pros in like their skill positions. So I think it's a big week for Ayuk, but it's an even bigger week for Brock Purdy. It's time for Brock Purdy to show if he is worth the 60 million a year, if he can put this team on his back, or does he need the Avengers around him? So it's going to be interesting couple weeks. But I still think the Ayuk thing was on the organization. They should have paid him earlier. You would have looked, like I said, what the Lions did. They paid Amon-Ra Brown early. They had him in training camp. He was also had a slow start, but they ended up paying less for Amon-Ra Brown. The Niners ended up paying Ayuk what he wanted at the end, and they made him miss all this time in training camp. So at the end of the day, was it really worth it for the team, for the Niners, right? Only time will tell. But that's enough Niners talk, because I know we got the Raiders fans in here. We got the Patriots fans in here. I don't know if Chidi's in here, the Steelers fans, any Saints fans out there. Congratulations on the win. But NFL week's thoughts. So big takeaway, the Raiders, they come back to defeat the Ravens over there in Baltimore. Good win for them. I think that defense is looking good. Amazing Crosby, one of the best DNs up there with TJ Watt, Nick Bosa, Gardner Minshew doing Minshew magic, Devontae Adams looking solid, Brock Bowers, solid piece of tight end. That's a good win for them. How about the Ravens? 0-2. Oh, I saw a stat. I guess like this is the first time since like in like 15 years they've started 0-2, especially with John Harbaugh. What's going on with them? They have, last year's MVP, Lamar Jackson. They got Derrick Henry. I feel like they need to use Derrick Henry more. I don't know why these teams, they just don't run the ball more. And I feel like the NFL now, so for a long time, right, the NFL was a passing league, right? Defenses were built to stop the passing game. So that meant smaller but faster linebackers. But I think there's an advantage now if teams decide to run the ball more, because the D linemen, the linebackers, and then the DBs, they're a lot smaller. They're built to be stopping the pass. So I think that leaves more openings for bigger backs like a Derrick Henry, Jordan Mason, and that's why we've been seeing a lot of these running backs, putting good numbers. Saquon, he had a bad drop yesterday, but all these running backs, the Josh Jacobs, I feel like in the NFL, it just comes in waves. Passing, and now I might be leaning more to running. We'll see. James Cook, he had a good week as well. But yeah, I mean the Ravens 0-2. We'll see how it goes in their division. The Browns, I think, yeah, they're 1-1. Bengals, they're 0-2 as well. And the Steelers, they're 2-0. Congratulations. Let's get to the Steelers. So my question is, will Russell Wilson have the starting job when he comes back? Justin Fields, younger, faster. He's been decent. He hasn't been bad, but he hasn't been like, oh my God. But he's good, and he's only going to get better. I feel like his confidence is going up. They're 2-0. The threat of his running ability, he can throw. He had a good pass to Pickens. I remember watching it, that was called back because of a holding or something, but that pass was a good, like a legit elite pass. So is he, are the Steelers their quarterback controversy? I know, Russell Wilson's been injured, but Justin Fields, is he the future for the Steelers? I don't know if you're here, Chidi, but let me know. It is intriguing with Justin Fields, and you think the Bears are kind of regretting it, letting him go, because they didn't. Caleb Williams on Sunday night did not look good. And I actually saw a clip about it was C.J. Stroud after the game going up to Caleb Williams, telling him like, "Hey man, like kind of brush it off, learn from this. Don't take too many hits, but it's in you. Like if you put in the work." And Caleb Williams is just like, and we've been there in sports, right? Where he's like, yeah, whatever, man. Like it's good, it's good. But I feel like the offensive rookie of the year is trying to give you advice. You listen to it. Like if you really want to improve. So I found that interesting, and I've seen clips of where the old linemen, after he gets sacked, they don't pick him up. DJ Moore, he wasn't happy with his play. But Caleb Williams, did we call this? I know we were talking about how he didn't look as he seemed like a bust, but I don't know. It's still early. Another, I feel bad for is Bryce Young from the Panthers. This week they came out that he's getting benched. Obviously, the Panthers, they've looked like the worst team in the NFL, 0-2 after 18 starts. Bryce Young, he's benched, and I feel like he might not be a good quarterback. He might not be. He's too small, too skinny. But I feel like the Panthers should be the ones to be blamed. They let him down. 2 years, two different coaching staffs. The team around him is horrible. I mean, he lost. Not only did he lose DJ Moore, he on the defense they let go of Brian Burns, Christian. I mean, no, Christian McCaffrey wasn't there when he left, but like their team, they don't have. It's just Thielen out there, and I mean they did draft Leggett. They have that running back too that he's been injured, but the team around the O line, it's not helping him out. I mean, I don't know. I feel bad for him. Obviously now his confidence is to the floor. Let's see if he's able to bounce back, but this is how you kind of ruin these type of quarterbacks' careers because now he's going to be known as a bust because that might be the biggest bust out there, and hopefully turns out well for him. But man, Panthers, they look like a horrible team. The Giants as well. What other teams? We talk Steelers. Oh, how could I forget? I wonder if you guys can still hear this. My favorite sound of them all. I don't know if you can hear that, but how about them Cowboys? I know I shouldn't be talking my Niners lost, but let's talk about the Saints then. Are the Saints legit? They are 2-0, and Derek Carr is looking like he's that Derek Carr that was in the Raiders, when they were saying he was going to be the MVP. They're looking Alvin Kamara, 4 touchdowns. Was it 4? 4. That Saints team, are they good? Are they legit contenders? Or, I mean, beating the Cowboys by that much after last week's Cowboys performance, and obviously every year, right? Same like us, right? But every year the Cowboys, this is their year. Dak, we pay CD, Super Bowl. But to get smacked like that at home by a team that no one saw coming, I don't know. I'm very surprised by the Saints. I'm very surprised by Derek Carr. I thought Derek Carr, his confidence was super low after he left the Raiders. He would always make like some dumb mistakes, but he's looking good. Him with Shaheed, he had another long touchdown. That's a good team. That's a good team. Like I said, it's all early. We'll see how these teams continue doing. But the Geo top 5 teams in the NFL, it's back. We're back full force in the NFL season. Yesterday, the Eagles, that's another team. Man, what a game. Especially fantasy wise, right? But because at the beginning, not a lot going on. But at the end, can you imagine if Jalen Hurts throwing that pick cost you the win on your league? I can't relate, but the Eagles. That defense does not look good. I Saquon Barkley looks good, but like I said, he had a crucial drop. No AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, he did his thing. Jalen Hurts, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about him still. He's solid. I mean, he's solid. But I'm Matt Ryan, Kirk Cousins, Kirk O'Banks, he pulls through in prime time with what a drive at the end. To go in what they had like a minute 20 left, and then like two plays, they're already in the and like three plays, sorry, they're already in the red zone. They scored the touchdown, take the win. B. John Robinson, he looked good. My boy Kyle Pitts got to step up because I have him in two of my leagues, and 5 points ain't gonna cut it, bro. Um, but I think that covers most. Am I missing another big game? Oh, yes, I am. The Chiefs. I don't know if you guys watch the Chiefs games. I mean, I hate watching the Chiefs games. And the number one thing I hate is when Kelsey makes a play, they just zoom into Taylor Swift, and she's overly excited for like a 1 yard gain, and I'm like, bro, I don't know. I hate watch the Chiefs. Um, and I can't say I hate the Chiefs. Right? I mean, let's be honest. They are the back-to-back champs. They have one of the greatest quarterbacks of this generation, an amazing coach. But dude, the amount of calls they get is ridiculous. Like they don't need those type of calls. Like they're an amazing team. They don't need every call to go against them. But that last play, the Bengals, they stopped them on like 4-16. They called pass interference. Yes, it seemed like a pass interference, but it was kind of like, I don't know. And all the holdings, their offensive line, they don't get called for. Like, as Jesse Pinkman once said, they can't keep getting away with this. But, you can say whatever you want. They're 2-0, and they don't look like they've been playing well. But last year they started the same way. They didn't look as good, and they won the Super Bowl. So, I'm not going to say they're not as good as this year because, they could easily three-peat. And then I don't know what I'll do at that point. And if it's the Niners and Chiefs Super Bowl again and they beat us again, suicide watch for sure. Suicide watch, man. I don't know what I'll do. But yeah, man, like refs, come on. Like you can't give them everything. Let them lose a game by a questionable call. Please. Please. Those are I think cover most of the NFL. I don't know. All those other teams don't matter. Did I miss a big one? Seattle 2-0. No one gives a shit. Fuck them. Oh, Cardinals. Yes, I forgot. They look good. Kyler Murray. He looks like Kyler Murray, and Marvin Harrison Jr. In like 4 plays, he had like 300 yards. Yeah, he looks legit. I know last week he had like 1 catch, but this week, dude, in like the first like 2 plays, he caught like 2 touchdown bombs. So that's another team in the NFC West that we got to watch out for, us Niners. The Cardinals, and we always have trouble stopping Kyler Murray because of his rushing ability. But we'll see. George asks, why do you think there's so much mediocrity in the start of the NFL season? I just think it falls because most of these teams, the star players, they don't do the preseason. So I think these, like the first 3 weeks are like the team's actual preseason. And I feel like it picks up after week 4 or 5, after like the first waves of buys. We start seeing like how teams really are. But I think that's what it falls to. Like I said, it's just the reps, the rust. Like I said, most of the starters, they really don't play preseason. Their first actual game was last week. It gets some time, to get the body acclimated to the hits, running routes, getting comfortable again. So I think but I've noticed like a lot of the quarterbacks too, they haven't been playing well. Like Derek Carr has probably been the best quarterback these past 2 weeks. Him, Sam Darnold, um, Kyler, he looked good. Oh, Josh Allen, he looked good too. I forgot to talk about Tua. Man, what a rough hit. he should really consider retiring because he just gets touched and he throwing up gang signs. but but yeah, I think it just falls to just a lack of reps. There's so much you can do in practice too. They barely practice. They can't really hit that hard either way. Pause. But I think that's what's going on. But maybe like after next week, things will pick up. But my top five teams right now, currently, I would say Chiefs number one, just because they're back-to-back champs. The Bills, they've looked good. Them, I'm gonna have to go with the Saints. Like I said, they've had impressive wins. Chargers, but we're still not up. They had a good win. The Chargers, and I forgot to talk about them, but yes, Jim Harbaugh's team. They always start off good. They always they make noise, and it sucks. It's like seeing an ex girlfriend with someone else flourish. Seeing Jim Harbaugh, I do miss him, and especially when he does the pat thing to Herbert. He used to do that to Kaepernick. Um, but hey, finally, Quinn. What's his name? Quinn Johnson, the receiver. He looked good. J.K. Dobbins, he's looking good. But where was I? Saints number four. I might have to go with Steelers, just because their defense is looking great. TJ Watt looking like another candidate for defensive player of the year, especially that first week. And then the last one, Vikings and Seahawks, just because the Vikings beat out, probably the Vikings. But Seahawks defense looks well as well. Who's got it better than us? Nobody. Is that what you want me to say? But we'll see. We'll see when the Niners play Seattle, though. Can't wait. But those are my top five teams. Let's see how they change. Last week it would have been the Niners. I had an impressive win, but after this week, I don't know. Thank you. The rat is in the house, everyone. Can we get an applause for the rat? He's in the house. Yeah. Now we jump into futebol for all my Brazilian fans out there. Como va? Você habla português? Muito bem. But Chelsea, we took the dub last minute. So I'm asking myself this question, and I'm putting it out there in the ether. Nkunku or Jackson as our starting forward? Jackson, he recently, he got a contract extension, whatever they call it in soccer, but he just, I don't know, man. He pisses me off, and I just feel like, I don't know, if I would put my attacking for Chelsea, it would be obviously Palmer as the 10. We'll have Sancho. He had an amazing game. Sancho on the left. And we can, probably, yeah, I'll still give it to Madueke on the other side because of his speed. And I would play Nkunku as our forward. I feel like, we saw the goal, the first opportunity he had. He finished that easy, no post, no misses. So I think that would be our a good lineup for Chelsea. Like I said, we struggled. I would say we should have lost that game. Bournemouth missed a PK. They had in the first half so many chances that I don't know how they did not score. But it's a good win. Usually last season we would have lost that game, but we come out with the 3 points. And I would say I want to see how Nkuku will look starting. And what I like is also, we got good subs now. We got Draw Felix, we got Neto. I forgot we still had Mudrik. He hasn't been playing. So we got a solid team. And Sancho, I'm excited. He looks happy, way happier in blue. He did not look happy in red. I'm thankful he's on our team now. So my Chelsea, we up there, we still, it's only been 4 games, but 2 wins, 1 loss, 1 tie. looking good. We're looking good. But oh man, Diossi, he cannot pass out the backfield. There was a couple plays where he can't wait till Reece James comes back for sure. George, I hope you're still here. Arsenal, they defeat Spurs. London is still blue, but Arsenal defeat their rival Spurs 1-0. Arsenal, trying to be in the top space. Obviously, Man City right now, they're undefeated. They had a good win. Erling Haaland with 2 goals, looking for I think he was looking for his 100th goal in the Premier League. Crazy, but Arsenal, they defeat Spurs. Hotspur, top Spurs, what's going on? But who else am I missing? Oh, Liverpool. Liverpool. What a surprising loss against Nottingham Forest. And who scored for Nottingham Forest? An old Chelsea player, Callum Hudson-Odoi. That was a surprising loss. I felt like Liverpool should be one of the top teams. Manchester United, they won, but no one cares about Manchester United. Bum ass team. Oh, another good game I watched on Saturday was the Aston Villa Everton. Everton was up 2-0 and they were about to be up 3-1. I don't know what's his name, Calvin Lewin. He tried to juke the goalie. The defender comes, takes the ball away. The next play, Aston Villa ties it 2-2. And then I forgot, I think his name is Duran. He came in as a sub. He scores a banger of a goal to make it 3-2. But Aston Villa today, they won as well in Champions League. Last year, obviously they made it in the top 4. That's a team to watch. They play very well. They have great players. We'll see how they do in Champions League. But that was a great game. You guys should watch that. That third goal was a banger. No Rice, no Odegaard, no problem. Talk your talk. I don't know if Nen is here, but talk your talk. In La Liga, though, Barca, they're also undefeated. Are they legit? They're looking good. They had a dominant win against Girona. Danny Colmo, he did get injured, but he had a banger of a goal. What Lamil Jamal, he's legit. Let's put it out there. Alberto, where you at? I know you always, you want to see more for him, but man, 16 years old. I think he's 17 now. He's the best player on Barca, putting the team on his back. He's legit. Gabriel's goal looked like a OPI to me. Nena's in the house. Hi, Hema. How's everything? Go Chelsea. London is blue still. Remember that. Only team in London to win the Champions League. Never forget that. But they look legit. Him, Pedri's goal was good. I like Pedri's goal. They're looking solid. De Jong is back in practice. I know we were talking about Real Madrid. Real Madrid, I still think Real Madrid is the best team in the world right now. They haven't meshed well yet, but they're starting to mesh. They won today in Champions League. Once they all start clicking, it'll be tough to beat them. But Barca will look. Then they look like they might be able to put up a fight against Real Madrid. Like I said, I think that Dani Olmo signing is going to fit well. It sucks that he's injured, but this is what I want: competitiveness in La Liga, because usually it's just 2 teams. Usually, it's been 1 team, Real Madrid, but Madristas. I want the competitiveness. I don't want them, like I said, that they just been walking through Champions League, La Liga for these past couple of years. We'll see, though. We'll see. Champions League started this week. And what do you guys think about the new format? I was reading up on it and I'm intrigued. At first, I was being a boomer. I was, why are they changing it? Let's keep it how it used to be. I'm used to the group stages. I'm used to da-da-da. But we're going to get, these top, like today, we had Liverpool, Milan. We had, we had the Juventus, was it Juventus PSV? I think I had it pulled up here. We had Juventus PSV, Liverpool Milan. Like I said, that one was probably you could say the competitive games. We're going to have them sooner, right? Obviously, we have an outlier today. We had Bayern scoring 9 against Dinamo. Kane, he scored like 4 goals. We'll have those games too. But I'm intrigued because I guess the top 8 of the standings, they go right away to the knockout stages. And then 9 through 25, 24, they'll have like a mini knockout stage to determine who goes to the round of 16. I like that. I think that's going to be cool. And also, like, there won't be like losers that go to the Europa League. Is you're out, you're out. No more European football for you. But some of these games will matter. I feel like teams would want to, be in that top 8. They don't got to go through an extra stage, to make it to the round of 16. Um, so it's gonna be interesting. I look forward to it. There'll be, like I said, there'll be some cool matches early on. But I'll give my prediction for my top 8 teams that will go straight to the knockout stages. Let's see if it comes true. Number 1 team, I would say that I guess we'll go 1 through 8, right? Then the number 1 team, I would put Madrid 1, City 2. I'm gonna go with Barcelona as 3. Number 4, Arsenal. Number 5, I'll go Bayern Munich. Number 6, let's go with Leverkusen. 7, we'll do Liverpool. And number 8, we'll round it off with Dortmund. I feel like those top 8 teams will slide through to the round of 16. And, that'll leave the other teams to battle out. You'll still have Inter Milan. I'm interested, like I said, by Aston Villa, AC Milan, Atletico de Madrid, Juventus, Monaco. And then, it just becomes regular Champions League from there. But what are your guys' thoughts? Do you guys like this new format? Do you guys enjoy the games today? You think Atletico would be one of the 8 teams one of the top 8? Could be. But, there's still Leverkusen. There's still Leipzig too. I forgot. Dortmund. Over Leverkusen? That's interesting. Maybe Aston Villa. Who knows? But I mean, the top teams are the top teams. Those are given. A lot of people they were sleeping on Munich, but Munich is still Munich. They have good players. Milan, Pancho, I don't know if you're here. They lost 3-1 against Liverpool. Liverpool too. We'll see what the surprise team is. That's also interesting. But good to have Champions League back. This past weekend, Noche UFC, was it a success though? I think the event wise, the spectacle of it, what Dana White envisioned, yes. Like I can only imagine if you were there live, but even on TV, like the imaging, the things that they had, when the fighters were about to fight, they put like the fighters facing off with each other and their stats, like that was there. That was all cool. And there was some cool fights too, that I got to watch in the main event. It was the Argentinian and the Mexican, Daniel Selhuber and Esteban Ribovics. That was a good fight. Fortunately, the Mexican lost. A lot in Noche UFC. A lot of the Mexican fighters they lost, but that was a good fight. Good old school banger. Esteban, he caught him cool. I don't know how Daniel didn't get knocked out or how the ref didn't stop, because there was a time where he was just. But that was a good fight. I know in the prelims there was another good fight. I didn't watch the prelims, but that was good. Diego Lopez, he's now top 3 in that division, featherweight. He's legit, man. It's funny, right? Because he got Brian Ortega, like he rocked him. He was out, but then he punched him again, and I feel like that woke up Brian Ortega. But he put in that good work. I'm interested. because I'm interested if they put him against Volkanovski, how that turns out. But Deo Lopez, Mexican, well, he's Brazilian but Mexican. Amazing fight, amazing moment. Now to the co-main event and the main event. There's been a lot of talk, right, that it was boring. Um, and then I mean, but that's what's dominant right now. The wrestling, the takedown, the keeping on the floor. Yes, Shevchenko literally just it was a cuddle session with Grasso. Yes, but the man is like Grasso, do something. Like you know, don't get taken down so easy. You're the champ. I don't know, like let's do something. It also falls on them, to put a threat. When she tries to take you down, I don't know, near uppercutter something, and she seemed off. You could say that the other fight, Chechenko had won that fight, but she did what she had to do to win. I mean, if you can't stop it, what can you say? And then obviously, Marab, Sean O'Malley did not look like the Sean O'Malley. Marab, he did his thing. He completely dominated him. I think he won every round. And that's like I said, that's what's dominant right now. His style, Bilal Muhammad, ni se diga del Islam. The only real champion the UFC has is my boy Oliveira because he throw down hands. He the only one. Um, but like I said, spectacle wise, amazing event. The co-main event, the main event, yeah, it did not live up to the hype. But it's also like that's what we're gonna get with those type of fights. They would have put like an exciting fight, there, then maybe it would have been different. Chihuihuis. Chihuihuis. He won too. My boy Victor calls him El Tasmanian Devil. That's shady, but yeah, he won. He won. The Aldana, her cut. I saw that. It was pretty gnarly, pretty crazy too. Um, but another fight in that day in Vegas was obviously Canelo. He defeated Berlanga unanimously. He dominated him. But I feel like the past like couple Canelo fights, we all say the same. Like it's like we know he's gonna win. What's next? He's done already. He's already solidified himself as one of the goats. What is next? Like who can he? Obviously, there's what we all want. I guess what majority want to see, right, is against Benavides. Maybe he's just trying to continue building it up. Or maybe he hopes Benavides loses a fight, so then he doesn't have to fight him. There's that one. There's a rematch against Bivol, but I feel like Bivol, he's just too big. Pause. But also there's a potential Crawford Canelo. I don't know. Crawford seems too small. And I don't know, what would that do to Canelo, right? If he loses, then it's like, damn, you lost to someone that's a lot smaller than you. But if Canelo wins, people are gonna say, well, he's a lot smaller than you. So obviously it will make a lot of money, right? But I don't know, I would want to see the Benavides Canelo, in my opinion. Jake Paul. Don't get me, man. I feel bad for Mike Tyson because it's also lose-lose for Mike Tyson. I mean, if he loses and gets knocked the fuck out, like, I don't want to see that happen to Mike Tyson, man. And then it's just going to boost Jake Paul's ego. Oh, but you're talking Canelo, Jake Paul? I mean, if it made enough money, I think Canelo said if it makes sense, he'll do it because he said it'll be the easiest payday of his life, and I would love to see that. Wouldn't you love to see that, Jackie? I would love to see that, but I would love to see Canelo knock the fuck out, knock Jake Paul the fuck out. Because like I said, if Jake Paul beats Mike Tyson, he's gonna say I defeated the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time. You really think Mike Tyson will get knocked out by Jake Paul? That's the thing. I don't know if you saw this, but what's his name? Evander Holyfield this past weekend, he fought someone. He fought Vitor Belfort, and he knocked him out. It's not that obviously in their prime, no way, but you gotta remember Mike Tyson's like almost 60 years old, going up against a 27-year-old, someone that's practicing boxing, right? But He's been practicing. He's decent. You know, it's a 60-year-old man. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope. I don't know. I don't know. Canelo versus Bibal before he fights Benavides. If not like, if like you said, Crawford. Oh, you guys seen that too? And you know, UFC, they saw Crawford and they thought he was Kendrick Lamar. What's up, Bonnie? How's Disney? Say what's up to Ernesto de la Cruz for me. We'll get to your. You send a question, but you got a quick question while you're there. How's Oogie Boogie? Javi, you're not there. I thought you were gonna be there, but they not like us. They not like us. I'm looking forward to that Super Bowl performance. You know, A minor. But yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. We're gonna watch the Mike Tyson Jake Paul, especially since it's on Netflix. But I just hope he doesn't get knocked out, man. I hope Mike Tyson knocks him out. Like, cool. Like that would be him. That would be amazing. Tyson on Shroom's third round. Crawford the new Kendrick. Yeah, man. I hope Tyson wins, man. But like I said, man, Jake Paul, I will give him this. He's a great entertainer, promoter. People tune into his fights. Makes sense. But yeah, maybe we'll get down the line a Jake Paul, Conor McGregor. Like I said, Conor McGregor recently came out saying that, you know, he wants to do another boxing match. That makes sense. I mean, they're both, I don't know. But yeah, shout out Canelo the GOAT, you know, winning in Mexican Independence Day. So we'll see what he does next. As we wrap up the show, let's hit the Bonnie question. He asks, what's the best ride in Disneyland, the Incredicoaster or the Guardians? Probably the Incredicoaster, I would say. I've heard. Because, man, Guardian, hell no, I ain't dropping like that. Hell no, fuck that. I'd rather go on the Incredicoaster. I spelled Incredicoaster wrong too, but I would say the Incredicoaster. But overall, best ride in Disneyland, we've always said I'm gonna go with either Space Mountain or I'm gonna go with Rise of the Resistance, the Star Wars one. That's an amazing ride. I like the Matterhorn as well. That's a good one. Tower of Terror is undefeated. That one was cool, but I've never been on. Hell no. I can feel it. But or as Tony says, que the X2, no? Hell no. But in what's it called in news that came out today, Space Mountain and Incredicoaster, especially Space Mountain when they do like the Star Wars themed Space Mountain, or right now I think they have like the Halloween Space Mountain, like the Ghost one. That was pretty cool. But news today, did it? He got arrested in I believe New York. Or then some crazy things that have come out that they found 1,000 bottles of lube and lotion. They seized them and it's over for Diddy. No Diddy though. So yeah, you know, I wonder how Meek Mill's doing with this news. It's a man. It was bound to happen. I mean, a lot of things came out about Diddy. You know, that video of him dragging his ex girlfriend and the whole, you know, human trafficking thing. So man, it's over for Diddy. Yeah, I mean, he had it coming. I don't know what else to say. But Diddy did it. And then obviously the news this past weekend as well is my boy Trump, my president. He survives another attempt on his life. This man, you know, he at this point, you know, nothing can phase him. He took a bullet to the ear. Everyone trying to get at him. And it's just putting up that street cred up to 1 million. So MAGA 2024, we in there. A MAGA hat should be coming in here soon. That's my guy. That's my president. You know, he ain't afraid. He taking bullets to the face for this country, and I know he's gonna make it great. So shout out to my boy Trump, as always. Uh, my boy Vic, the biggest Chelsea fan I know ever. Shout outs to Vic. He asked, "Will the collusion continue in the fantasy?" And I wasn't gonna answer this, but I'm gonna put it out there. Y'all cry too much, Vic. You cry too much. You you always come out with outlandish statements telling me. Obviously, he got upset because his tight end was injured, and it's not my fault that you didn't check in the morning which players were injured or not. You didn't make the necessary moves for your team. Telling me that, oh, I couldn't move the player. I don't know. It locked. Collusion, 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 collusion. Bro, I mean, there's only so much I can do. Do I need to start sending text reminders to everyone like, hey, please check your teams before 10 a.m. to make sure everyone's playing or not? And then, we got the situation with, the AJ Brown situation where, people thought that you couldn't make a change on a player that played on Monday on Sunday, but we got all that squared out. But right away they start throwing the collusion, collusion, collusion. Cry more. That's what I'm gonna say. Just cry more. Or, and this is directed to my fantasy league. As I said, if you have any complaints of the league, there's a special email. It's cry more, kiss my ass at gmail.com. Send your complaints, everything, and my secretary will get back to you. Thank you. Um, what's the 5-leg parlay? Someone asked. Let's see. A 5-leg parlay. Here, I'm gonna give it to you. Niners win, money line. Cowboys lose. Seattle loses. Saints win. And Chelsea wins by 3. Money right there. Oof. How can you lose with that parlay? Like, copy that parlay, send me a message if it hits, and if it hits, let me take my cut. So I'll repeat it back. Niners win, money line. Cowboys, did I say Cowboys lose, Seattle lose, Saints win, and Chelsea win by 3. Book it. Got another email from a female. But that should wrap up the show. Okay, so I don't know if Bonnie, you're still here, but we got a Monday night Mike yesterday. Big Mike had lost hope in our fantasy league. He was down by 1.5 points, and he was going up against Jalen Hurts. And Jalen Hurts at the end of the game throws a pick. Big Mike had already turned off his TV. He already threw his phone away. He thought he had lost. And he won. He won by 0.5 points with that pick. He was able to beat Bonnie. Bonnie was obviously devastated. He called me. I spoke to both of them, got their thoughts, gathered them. One didn't believe what happened. And Bonnie, he said, he just started throwing jabs at us. Hit me up when you win a championship. Da, 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 da. All right, it's cool. But you lost. But this is the beauty of fantasy football. Any play matters at this point. Even a kneel would have mattered because you do lose yards in kneel. So Monday Night Mike is his new name, aka Big Mike. Congratulations. Something about details. Something about details about some retails. Something about details about some retails. Is that a lyric? Maybe. I'm hungry. I'm sorry. But we leave the show. Thank you guys again for tuning into the show. It was a pretty long one. Hopefully we covered everything. If you're tuning in late, we talked NFL at the beginning. We got into a little Champions League. But Gio's words of wisdom to end the day. I would just say, just be your genuine self in everything. Be your authentic self in life, And if people don't like it, they don't like it, and the real people will like it. So that's what I'm gonna end it with. Have an amazing Tuesday. Have an amazing rest of your week. I will catch you guys next Tuesday at 6 p.m. and we'll see what else happens in the sporting world. I tune out. Peace out. Much love, guys. Make sure to like it. Everyone right here, the 5 of you guys, 7 of you guys, leave a like right now. That helps out. Please. Thank you, George. Have a good night, guys. Peace out.